Audience, welcome to a very special episode of King Arthur Pendragon 5.2, the Great Pendragon Campaign, episode 36. Glimo, I really appreciate that you waited until we started to show me that the alerts are beneath our
underneath the Zoom
yes,
player.
Yes, so no one can see that you just locked in for 6 years. 72 months, and Omar as well, thanks for that sub. You are unfortunately underneath. Lawson as well. Guys, thanks so much. We're doing that typical Twitch stream shit so that the people on the YouTube are really rolling their eyes right now. By the way,
it's all about the live experience.
Oh my God. Somebody I want to talk about our, thanks, Saviera. And I want to talk about our sponsor, of course, water. I drink it and I require it in order to live. Thanks so much, water, for existing. All life that we know it requires you, more or less, to some extent. The six of you find yourselves gathered around the dining table in the manor of Sir Wolf Gluck at Gluck Tower. Sir Wolf has invited all of you to stay the night with him, of course, as you are knights passing through the area who are in need of lodgings, and Sir Gluck is certainly more than willing to accommodate you. He is mostly quiet after introducing a slight history of the nearby hamlet of Salem, which is not as cool as the town of Salem, which is in, of course, Cornwall. This is the hamlet of Salem, which is near, of course, Dorchester.
Has it been at least a full week since...
It has been 1 day since you dropped off Merlin. This is the night after you've dropped off the Merlinster.
But since the battle?
No, it's been 1 day.
Okay, I thought we were on the road with Merlin for quite a while after the fight. 2 days. Okay.
You know what? You did have to U-turn. It has been 2 days since the battle, and today is the day you dropped off the Merlin.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Did James somehow initiate a hype train? How did you do that? I don't think I've ever had a hype train before, James.
What do I do?
I don't know.
It's because we had all the subs and resubs in a short amount of time, and then I think James, being the last one, kicked it off.
This is dark magic.
Dark magic.
Hey, James, I have to thank you because I thanked everybody else so far. Thanks for 67 months, buddy. So, Sir Wolf Gluck just quiets at the dinner table. A simple affair of forest meats, mushrooms, vegetables, and an anachronistic amount of potatoes. What is now? It's playing noises for me. Is that supposed to happen? I've never had a hype train before, so I didn't know it was supposed to make noise.
Well, Lawson just gifted a sub.
Okay.
Or two. No, just one, looks like. Yeah, we're definitely doing the streamer things right now.
Right? We're at dinner with Sir Wolf Gluck, right? We're all there, ignoring the weird stuff happening in chat, right, guys?
Yes, of course.
And Sir Wolf looks around and says, "So, 6 visitors gathered at my door, an auspicious number this day. I must confess, some of you I know and some I do not, but there are few who would not recognize you." And he stands and raises a toast towards you, Spoon.
Okay. I will raise my glass in return.
Sir Kendric, Pitton. They say that you are a keen slayer of Saxons. They call you the middle-aged wolf.
I am not as young as I once was.
I understand that indeed.
Could I possibly roll either recognize or heraldry to recognize the other 3 knights that are here?
Absolutely. Let's go with recognize.
Okay. I mean, they're the same, so.
That's
No.
a 7. That's a failure. You have no idea who these knights are.
So in
Glimo?
Mr.
Not Kyned.
Kyned.
Oh, still Kyned. All right. Kyned also does not recognize these 3 men. They pass from his understanding.
As Sir Gluck toasts me, I will toast him in return and say, "We thank you for your hospitality. This Gluck Manor
Tower. We
sure.
like to call it Gluck Tower.
Gluck Tower is a welcome respite from the road."
You would do the same for me, I think. So it is only fair, fitting, and chivalrous of a knight.
Indeed. Hospitality is what sets us apart.
From what?
The Saxons and the common folk.
Ah. I was born a commoner, sir.
Well, you seem to be one of the few that are imbued with the nobility and chivalry of knights.
Appreciate what you say. I think that there may be more nobility and chivalry in the common man than you might suspect.
Perhaps. I've been wrong before.
I take no offense. It is a little awkward as he sits back down. Perhaps our guests would like to introduce themselves. I can see that our other guests are left confused, perhaps not as famous as someone like Sir Gwgan.
Did you need me to introduce myself?
No, I was saying that these 3 knights don't need to know who you... Everyone knows who you are, sir. Everyone knows who you are, sir.
As you say.
Gwgan needs no introduction. I am Kyned of Laverton.
It's good to meet you, Sir Kyned. I'm Sir Maidla from West. It's a little questionable as to who calls it what.
Curious.
And your compatriots?
Oh, I wouldn't call them my compatriots. They're just perhaps at best traveling companions, but other than that, I would let them speak for themselves.
I'll chime in next. Greetings, gentlemen. I am Stanislav, Master of Hound and Hunt, also from points west of here.
I am Sir Law. I came here also as a hunter.
Is Stanislav is a knight, though, yes? Even though he didn't introduce himself as Sir?
Yes, sorry.
Okay, he wears... All right.
Yes, Sir Stanislav.
And might I raise my glass to our host for being so gracious as to take us in for the eve.
Gentlemen, when a gathering such as this comes together, we should talk about what is on all of our minds. The future of tin. You know it, I know it, and we all know it. Somewhere in the southwest of this fair island, there are tin mines that even now are threatened by enemies abroad and domestic. What say you to this situation where the faith and credit of the High Kingdom itself is threatened when these mines are threatened.
Where are these tin mines at again?
If I knew, do you think I'd be living in Gluck Tower?
They're in tin to gel.
Ah,
Technically true.
I'm afraid only the Duke and his closest confidants knew where they were.
you speak of the former Duke Gorlo.
I do.
Ah,
Do you?
well, don't
did
be
you
looking.
know? Did you
Don't
know
look
him?
over here for that tin. I know not. I served under the Duke. My lord did, before the dark times, since his demise. And I know very little about tin, other than it's somewhat more malleable than steel.
My memory fails me. Who was it that slew Gorlo?
It was me.
It was you.
Yes.
So he takes like the pig's leg and like goes to do like a meat bash with you and goes, and a great kill it must have been to put a traitorous dog down.
Yes, it was. It took some doing, but I would not say. I would not speak ill of the dead.
Wise.
Wise indeed. Some would say that Duke Gorlo's passing is what led to the dark times of my home. But I'm not here to point fingers.
And what about Sir Stanislav and Sir La? Did you also serve the Duke? All right.
I'm going to say yes. Sure.
Sir Law just nods his head.
Curious band to be fighting themselves so far east.
It is curious times in which we find ourselves.
I would have
One
thought.
must go where they can to find work.
Are you looking for work?
I had thought about visiting Sarum and perhaps pledging my sword. I have no other place to call home, but that's a tale for another time. I wouldn't bring such dark words to a warm meal.
So awkward around this
Yeah.
table as two groups of old enemies sit down across from each other.
I would have thought that knights formerly of Gorlo, Knights of Cornwall, would be fighting for the Earl of
Devon.
Yeah, would be fighting for the Earl of Devon.
One finds it hard to fight when everything you've had is taken. Fires and blood tend to do that.
Both sides are paying very well. Your soldiers.
There's a fair amount of gold out there for those that can wield a weapon.
Was it the King Idris that drove you from your lands?
Out of character, I'm going to be honest with you. I tried to keep up with names left and right, and there are so many.
Yeah. So
The short version is yes. Somebody in that fighting over Cornwall and what is and what isn't Cornwall is what has led my character to.
yeah. So it would be King Idris then, because King Idris is the guy from Brittany who's coming up, storming through Cornwall, and
Just a reminder, Brittany is not in Britain, it's in France.
yes,
Correct.
yeah, he has come over the channel.
Gentlemen, please. There is no reason to fight. Let me instead say that we live in such bright times, for upon us is not the year of our Lord 500, not rapidly approaching. There are many scholars of the book that say that at this time we may see a resurgence of the Lord Christ. There are many who delve into the numerology of the Bible and declare that he will come again in the year 500. I find this to be a good omen.
When Lord Gluck says that, because I know you said his name a moment ago, and that's about all I can remember.
Yeah.
Wolf Gluck, yes. When he mentions Jesus Christ and the coming and all that, Sir Maedla will just simply continue eating and not really say anything.
Well, gentlemen, this is such good radio. But I fear that if we have little to say, perhaps we should retire for the night.
Yes. Perhaps.
He looks at the six of you and says, I hope that you will part as brothers in the morning.
Oh, I see no reason for it. No reason not to, I should say.
Is there an insight skill?
I believe there specifically isn't an insight skill in this game.
Yeah.
Greg Safford was like, there's no intelligence score either, motherfucker.
Yeah, I had to go back and look and like, how smart did I make this guy? And then I'm like, oh yeah, that's not a thing.
He's as smart as I am.
There's trusting and suspicious.
Yeah.
There is that.
That doesn't let you read people. It just lets you choose whether you trust them or not.
Yeah. Like, do we see you guys, like, do your knights have like armaments? Like, do we see like bags with like swords next to them, or like chainmail sticking out of one of the flaps?
You definitely you saw you saw such things on their horses that were being stabled next
so like
to yours.
they are armed as knights.
Yes.
Okay. Interesting.
If there are no objections, then I bid you a good eve, and I shall turn in at Gluck Tower.
You for the meal and for the conversation.
Sir Maedla will stand and raise a cup again, bidding him a fair night.
Raise a cup and thank him for his hospitality.
Wish a good evening to all.
The three of you are left at the table alone.
What are the sleeping quarters like here?
Individual rooms, all up and down a hallway.
Okay.
There are exactly 6.
Good to know. So it's the three of us?
All along the right side of the hall. Yes, it is the 3 original cast members, not the 3 new coming cast members.
Well, I was going to say, I was simply saying goodnight to.
Oh, you're staying at the table then.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was trying to. He was trying to be polite.
There's 3 of you and one of them remaining at the table. You could jump him.
There's no reason to break hospitality yet.
He says.
How specific.
Funny that you put a timeline on it.
Yeah. I think Kendric will pour like a fresh glass of beer or wine or whatever for everybody who has stayed.
AP, how do I make a roll on this crazy 20 of the rolls? I need a character sheet or no?
What do you want to roll for? Why don't we talk about that first? Hold on.
I'm just rolling indulgence and temperance.
Okay, you do /roll space 1d20.
/roll 1d20. Oh, look at that. I just critted my indulgence.
Okay. Great.
Drunk.
Put a check mark in it. Some of
Which
the
also, I guess
servants
I don't
see
even have to
you-
test my temperament to see if I actually
No,
consume.
you don't test the opposite if you crit.
No, your indulgent goes up, your temperament goes down. You checked indulgence.
Yeah. The servants
sounds
see
right.
you getting settled in for a longer night, and one of them goes into the back and is just like, well, you'd best get the bottles out. It looks like the Pictish man is deciding to do his thing. And one of them clucks their tongue and is like, Northerners, you know how it is. They're all alcoholics, just like the Irish.
Yeah, so when Sir Kendric pours, I will pour one as well. And move to cheers his cup, as it were.
Kyned, being an accomplished drunkard, sees what's going down here, and Madel is now his new best friend. So we are
Word. Yeah, understood.
Drunk buddies are the best buddies. To be clear, good Sir Kendric,
Yes.
I meant no animosity in regards to the former Duke. It's just we were on different sides of a line. Yours did far better than mine, but the dark times that came after were not pleasant.
Yes, I took no pleasure in killing what were formerly my countrymen. Took no pleasure in the death of the Duke. It was simply what needed to be done.
Battles, lords, and kings come and go, but at least we have the Brotherhood of Knights.
Hear, hear. And he'll
Indeed. Definitely raising the cup, taking a drink. It was word of the Order of the Axe that had actually, what's the word I'm looking for here? Made me consider traveling towards Sarum. Your group's exploits, word of your honors and chivalry have gone quite far, as I'm sure you have already heard multiple times. I think I will wander that way and see what the young Earl might have to offer. Perhaps you'll see more of me. Perhaps not.
Well, if you do find your way to Sarum, you would be welcome at Pitton.
You honor me. I like that. Drink.
Yeah.
Upper left-hand corner. I approve.
plus one reputation with Sir Kendric. Sorry, Glimo. I've already got +5 with you.
Sarum has need of strong sword arms.
and strong drinkers.
Does it though? Does it?
Listen, somebody's got to drink all that wine that Sir Owain and Sir Herod's manners are making.
That's right. Yes. And bottling in the name of the Lord. Okay. Anything else you want to do with your evening?
I think I'm not gonna drink to get drunk, but I'm definitely going to enjoy myself, pace myself, eat some food in between drinks.
Sure.
But I'll definitely spend the rest of the evening cohorting in the hall.
Does Sir Gluck have like a family or anything, or is it were we basically by ourselves?
His servants retire after setting out a number of wine bottles, and it does leave the knights by themselves.
Okay. Can I test indulgence versus temperate?
Of course, why not? You'd hardly be the first.
Okay, so fail indulgent. Fail temperate. So I think Kendric does much the same. Like, he's not going to get absolutely blackout drunk, but he, drinks a fair amount of wine with Sir Madel and his compatriots. If it's what?
Sir Maidla.
Maidla.
At least I hope that's how it's pronounced, because that's what I'm going with.
Okay. And then he'll retire for the night. I do think when he goes to his room, he definitely bars the door, though.
Bars the door. Incredible. Very well.
Yeah, I don't drink and I barely eat before I retire.
Glimo.
Kyned will stay up drink for drink until Sir Maidla retires, and then we'll go pass out in his guest room.
You are all awoken after a dark and troubled sleep by the screaming and shrieking of the servants. Some are banging on the outside door, screaming that they cannot leave the manor. Others are weeping over the dead body of Sir Wolf Gluck. Everywhere, from his torn throat, slashed as if by 3 cruel claws, is blood. There is blood on the Gluck Tower. Someone among us must be a werewolf in this Brotherhood of Knights, nay, a mafia in this hamlet of Salem.
So many references in there.
I am now handing out the character cards to each of you. Please check on Discord, and at this time, I'm asking all tray tables to be put up, seats in the upright position, and any third monitor AP Gaming Real content to be closed, because you know, I don't want you looking while we do the votes.
So should we close chat for the...
Yes, you
the
should
stream?
absolutely close chat.
Okay.
Just for
Closed.
now. You can have it later.
Are you talking which chat? Are you?
He means
The,
Twitch chat.
Let's chat.
Oh, okay. Well. that's
Okay,
easy
let's see
enough.
here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Everyone should have received their character card.
Interesting.
Hmm.
CIC.
Will we be? I don't know what everybody else's cards have, but will there be skill rolls associated with those cards?
No.
Okay,
We're playing werewolf.
gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you already successfully made the murder roll, so don't need to do it again.
I will say the one time I played Among Us with my oldest kids and some of their family members and whatnot, I intentionally was trolly and would say things like, "Oh, how do you do this?" And then they're like, "Oh, he's the murderer. He's the murderer." And for like the 4 or 5 rounds we did, I was voted out on the first vote every single time. And meanwhile, like after the first one, I was like, "Okay, I'm actually going to try to play for real. I'm not the murderer," but I still got voted out. So, but I had fun because I was just talking mad smack the whole time.
As the 6 of you gather before the shredded throat of Sir Wolf Gluck, you can hear a mad cackling noise. I am the witch of the hamlet of Salem, and I have commanded my werewolf follower to kill Sir Wolf Gluck by making one of you my werewolf servant. You cannot leave this manor until either you are all dead or my werewolf is. And you can only kill one person a day. That's fair, right? You can vote and kill one person a day. All right, I'm leaving now. And the reason I killed him is because his grandfather insulted me 30 years ago. Goodbye. All of you are gathered in the main hall, standing equilaterally around Sir Wolf Gluck, looking at each other.
A
But
hex,
one
if
of
you will.
you is a werewolf.
Well, this is
This is awkward.
indeed.
Sir Law just kind of stands there. He's got a large beard covering most of his face, and he's got like a natural squint, so he doesn't really have a very readable facial expression as he kind of scans the group.
Stanislav is blatantly trying to look in everyone's ears because he's always been told that werewolves have hairy ears.
Yeah.
Stop that. You don't need to look so closely at me.
I didn't write on my character sheet if I had hairy ears or not.
These are the kind of details I need to know. They're important.
And I think what are some of the old school sides of werewolves, like the mark of the devil upon your palm? Ask everybody to show their palms.
Let me see if I can
Gwgan
Google
and I
some of
are good Christians, so it couldn't be us.
Good Christians.
I'm having flashbacks.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me hug you all so you can tell. I'm a good Christian.
Can I roll folklore? Let's try and
What
get
would you
info.
like to determine about folklore? What are you rolling for?
If I know anything about determining who is a werewolf?
Yes, go ahead and roll. Yeah, so
That is a
I'm guessing you
success.
have at least a 1 in the skill.
I have a 2.
Wow, what a luck shot. You realize if you'd failed, I would have told you the wrong thing, right?
Would have made the game more fun either way.
Okay, well, what a luck shot here. All right. You know that there's almost no way to determine who is or is not a werewolf, but that there are some few people who, in times of crisis or in with magical training, can unlock a druidic ability called the Green Seer, who can determine whether or not someone else is a werewolf in their dreams.
Did anyone have any weird dreams last night?
Was restless.
Yeah.
Did we?
You all had strange dreams. I did describe that before.
Yes. It was
Some
dark,
of you stranger
dark and
than
troubled
others.
sleep,
I definitely had a hard time sleeping.
which is very strange considering how much alcohol you imbibed last night.
Come now, surely you've never had that similar experience yourself.
Just one other thing. We're all looking for a werewolf among us because a disembodied voice told us that there's a werewolf among us. There are lots of other people in this castle. There are other ways this man could have died and be made to look this way. Perhaps before we start turning on each other as knights, we should actually investigate the crime itself first. Speak with the servants, find out what they saw.
Shall we round them all
Try
up
and-
and lock them in the larder?
They're already locked inside the building.
How big is this building, AP?
I mean, that's the size of an English manor house.
Okay.
Have any of you tried the doors yet? We know the servants have been banging, but have any of us tried?
I'll walk right over to the front door and just
Yeah.
start jiggling the handle and seeing what happens.
Doesn't jiggle at all. There's no jiggling there.
Yeah, no, this is secured.
Are there windows?
There are.
Yeah. Stanislav
look
starts
like?
checking the windows.
Equally secure.
Does it look weird out the windows, or is it just normal out there?
I mean, it looks like rural England. If you consider that weird, then yeah, sure.
I didn't know if it was like pitch black outside.
No.
We're in an alternate pocket dimension.
I think Kendric will go and examine the corpse.
You kneel down before the corpse. It has been strangely exsanguinated, as if not only has his throat been slashed, but then he was left upside down to drain the blood out of most of his body, rather than, because it looks like he got slashed in the throat and then fell back. But on closer inspection, now that you're looking down there, there's no way that much blood came out of his body like this.
There would be like a huge puddle that he would be
Yeah.
in.
Where's the blood?
Interesting. He was moved here after he was killed.
So they wanted us to find the body?
I don't know. I would assume so.
Such a public display, I would imagine, yes.
Means a message, but I think we've already heard that message.
Are
Should
there,
we?
any servants around in the room, Arthur?
A servant comes in and says, "Sorry, did you say you needed a servant?"
Who was the first to find the body?
Oh, I was. My name is Brimblebuck.
What is your
That's
role here?
unfortunate.
Wait, sorry, did you just insult my name? You know, I didn't choose my name. My parents chose my name for me. But, okay, so, yes, my job around the manor is hunting rats, and also my job is to provide meats for the larder.
Are you normally the first up?
Yeah, normally Sir Gluck goes out and hunts dogs and large wolves from time to time, so, you know, he's got to have somebody to turn out the dogs and to help him with that sort of thing. We don't have a large operation here, but he just comes to old Brimblebuck. Yes, I found him here. It was pretty horrifying, really. I'm kind of over it now, you know, it just feels like it's been like 10 minutes. Feels like, you know, I've kind of processed it and all.
And you were the only servant that was up at the time? When you found
Yeah,
him?
I mean, I kind of started shouting and everybody else came out. I mean, you guys, you knights were the last ones out, my lord, so, you know, does that make you more or less suspicious in my eyes?
Did you touch or move the body anyway?
Oh, I mean, I did touch his body, but I didn't move it. But I was like, hey, are you okay? And then I was like, no, probably not. That throat looks pretty bad. But then I shook him 3 times and I just double checked. And then I went to the airway, say if he was breathing. And then I was like, no, there's a hole in his throat. So he's probably not going to be doing that. But,
May
you
I
know,
see your hands?
sometimes miracles work in strange ways.
May I see your hands?
Oh, yeah, he holds up his hands. There's
Right.
some, like, dried, tacky blood on it.
All right. Check under his fingernails. Is there blood
Okay.
under his nails or not?
No.
Okay.
Has anyone checked his room?
Oh, I
To
can
see-
take you to his room. I have the key.
Yes, that would take us there.
He takes you up the stairs to the second floor of the Gluck Tower. And
Sorry,
when,
before we
Oh.
go,
yes?
if there is any substance to what the voice said, then we should avoid splitting up into groups less than 3.
Oh, but the voice, you mean the witch of the Hamlet of Salem?
Has this happened before?
Oh, yes,
You
there's a
knew-
long, long legendary curse in the line of Sir Wolf Gluck. Yes, his father was killed by a werewolf, and his grandfather was also killed by a werewolf. His grandfather once said something very unkind to the witch, the Hamlet of Salem, and she got very upset and cursed his whole family line to die to werewolves.
Does he happen to have a son? And if so, is he here?
He does happen to have a son, but he's been, you know, taken and made a ward of someone else, very distant, very far, in a very far place called Londinium. It's pretty far from here. It's like 2 whole days' ride.
Thought that was a medal.
Londinium?
More like 4, but yes.
Well, you know, I've never left the area. I'm just a simple man named Brimblebuck.
Well, Brimblebuck, take us to your master's quarters.
Oh, we're standing outside it. I just stopped turning the key when I was asked an alarming question. He
Go ahead.
opens
And
the
open the
door,
door.
and you see that basically all of the walls are covered in the heads of like trophy-mounted wolves and large dogs, and the bed is absolutely soaked with blood. It
So the door
definitely
was-
looks like someone was murdered on the bed.
So the door was locked.
The door was locked, it would seem.
Who would murder the man, move the body, then take the time to lock the door?
Well, it must be someone who has his key.
Curious.
Are there multiple
Just start
keys?
like
Who
Oh,
else
yes,
has the
I
key?
have the other
Brimblebuck?
key.
How many keys are there?
Well, there's 2 keys.
You have one, and the Lord Gluck had one.
Yes.
Someone should see if it's still on his body.
It's not. I checked earlier.
Would you mind emptying your pockets?
yeah, I was gonna say just start tearing my pockets out.
Okay.
No, I said that to the servant. I don't know why
So-
I asked the servant
So
to do it,
Brimblebuck
but-
goes, now listen, I don't have any problem with you role-playing, but there are some very specific ways that we play a werewolf, and you're not going to be able to get around those mechanics. But he turns out his pockets, and there's like a comically loud cloud of dust that poofs out, and like a half coin.
Half a coin.
No second key here, just this one that I'm holding in my hand.
I'm gonna give him a suspicious look and then just move on.
Okay. Listen, I'd like to start preparing breakfast. Would anyone mind if I left and went to do that?
Please.
Okay,
We
I gotta
are
kind of
hungry, I'm
round up
sure.
the staff. They're pretty shaken. They haven't had 10 minutes to process this like I have. All right, I'm leaving now.
So the blood in here is on the bed mainly, is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And there's no damage to the door.
There is no damage to the door.
So if he had his key on his person, how did the killer get into the room in the first place to commit the murder?
Is there a window?
There is a window.
Is this a ground floor or
Second floor.
Second floor.
I try and open the window.
It's locked. Almost as if by witch magic.
Is the blood on the bed the only sign anything happened in here?
Yeah, let's say yes.
Can I
What
see
more
if it,
signs would you like?
The
No,
answer to the riddle is
a broken vase or something. I don't know.
yeah, can we see like if can we see if like
Signs
the
of a
door was
forced
like forced
entry?
open or something? Yeah.
Doesn't look like the door was forced open. It's almost like someone entered and exited as if by magic.
I was just gonna say some foul dark magic has occurred here, methinks.
Sounds like the wolf burst out of his body.
This is what happens when you snuggle puppies with your face.
I mean, this makes the man we just spoke to our primary suspect, who was the only other person to enter the room without causing damage.
Indeed.
Should one of us check the body ourselves to make sure the key is or is not on him? Am I the only one with that thought?
Yeah, I had that thought too.
Did we just return to the main room where the body is?
All right, we do a clue shuffle where everyone goes back to the body. I appreciate that everyone here knew what I was talking about. You go back, there is no key on the body.
Suddenly the butler, Brimblebuck, is played by Tim Curry.
Nope.
Oh, that would
Nope.
be amazing.
Hot
Tim
topic.
Curry.
A woman in her 40s in a simple peasant serf's dress approaches you all. She has a piece of paper and a pen. She appears to be literate, and she says, "All right, so I'm just taking down your orders right now. So the witch filled me in. Each of you may vote to execute one of the 6 of you every day. And then if a majority of people vote for someone, we kill them. Would anyone like to nominate one of you to be the werewolf?"
So the
Do
witch
we
has
have the
confirmed
option?
it as one of us,
Yes.
and we believe the witch.
Well, I believe the witch. But what
Fair
do I
enough.
know? I'm just a literate peasant serf in the humble hamlet of Salem.
Do you have
Do we
access
have
to the
the
bedroom?
Did I have access to the bedroom? I mean, like, I knock on the door and Sir Gluck will open it for me. Does that count as access?
Could the killer have figured that out? That if they just knocked on the door, he'd open it?
You're really overthinking this. You please lean into the mechanics I've put before
I
you,
don't think
because
he'd
we're
be on the
playing
bed then.
Werewolf tonight. A
Are we
special
required
episode
to
of
vote?
Werewolf.
I'll have some biscuits and gravy for my morning meal. Thank you.
She says that's not what we're preparing. You'll have what
okay.
we're serving.
AP picked a game we're designed to lose, so we got to play it right.
Right.
So we can't win. That's what I mean.
Wow.
He had to make sure none of the guest characters made it out.
Yeah.
Right.
What is going on? The whole cast is
Are
turning
we-
against me.
I will gather my Order of the Axe compatriots over off to one side.
Incredible.
vote
The
for the
three of
game
you
master.
go stand suspiciously
Excuse
in a
me.
corner.
I'm going to watch the whole time. The three of you separate, and I'm not like. There's no like. It's not glaring. It's not mean. But he's watching because obviously you're plotting something.
Can I
Yeah,
roll
obviously.
awareness to listen from a distance?
Sure, I'll allow it. I'm the one talking, so
You
Can we
perfect.
not,
Well, the
can we
GM
not
allows
observe
it.
can we not observe the sanctity of the dad huddle?
Damn, what a double reference. Okay.
so
My awareness is a 15, by the way. I rolled an 8.
Okay.
yeah, you can definitely overhear Sir Kendric as he goes, well, it's not me, and I don't think it's either of you.
Are we allowed to reveal information
Listen.
from our card?
Glimo, you can tell people whatever truths or lies you want to, is all I'm saying.
I don't know what this magical business about turning someone into a werewolf is, but I don't think it actually works that way. You have to be bitten by a werewolf to become a werewolf.
Well, I actually know something about that. It can happen that way, and witches can temporarily curse you with the werewolf thing.
I'd like to roll fairy lore.
Yeah, go ahead. Why not? If you fail, I'll tell you the wrong thing.
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
You're absolutely correct, Kendric. As you believe, where lycanthropy can only be contracted by a bite or a slash from another werewolf. Yes. Why would you ever be wrong?
Yeah, of course.
Clearly, that's how the movies are written.
And I believe that, as Law said, I do have the ability to check someone in my dreams. So if you have someone that you suspect, I'm happy to focus on them.
Mm.
I'm going to lean over to Stanislav and be like, he's got the power of the green sight, he thinks.
Well, I think
I'm gonna lean back to Omar or to what was your character's name?
Maidla.
Maidla. I'm gonna lean back to Maidla and be like, I think you're okay. I don't know if your ears are hairy enough.
I mean, I'm not willing to condemn somebody to death based upon what we've heard and what we've seen so far.
I would agree.
I think the werewolf or whatever this thing is, this witch, will kill someone again tonight.
She did say as much.
So just to clarify the character, so the three other knights, were they traveling together, or they were also individuals, really, when they arrived here? The way they were introduced.
Personally, I'm okay with either answer because Maidla was definitely on his way in to Sarum from elsewhere.
Yeah, like
The other two, if they happen to meet up on the road prior to coming here, that's up to these guys to figure out.
Yeah, I would have liked to have assumed we all traveled together.
I think we've been traveling at least for a couple days together.
Yeah.
Even if we met up on the road earlier than that.
Yeah.
makes sense.
I'm just conscious of the fact that the three of us, being long-term brothers, that if another one of them were to die, they would feel quite threatened. That if it is simply a matter of the majority deciding the death, that we would remain the majority until the end then. In which case, if you were to use this sight of yours, I would suggest that you direct it inwardly at us first to ensure that none of us have been cursed, so that we at least have some certainty around our bonds of brotherhood.
Very well.
Do we have our weapons inside?
No, unfortunately, all of your weapons were left out with the horses. Crazy how that works out.
Darn,
Does I at least have a knife on me?
I was going to
Crazy,
say,
dude.
well, if any of us die, I'm just going to murder all three of them.
That's not how the rules of the game work. I literally cannot get you all to sit around a table and play werewolf tonight, huh?
Not in the bounds of a role-playing game, no.
No, because we're also playing Pendragon.
Yeah.
I was really clear that we're not also playing Pendragon, we're playing werewolf.
It's werewolf with dice.
Jesus Christ. Okay, it's the break point. Think about everything you've done. We'll be back in 5 minutes.
One quick question, though, if I may.
Oh, sure. Go ahead. No, we're
right,
we're
well,
going back to the
so-
streaming screen. Here we go. All right, we're back.
Well, I didn't mean for all that, but I was just going to ask. So, all our weapons and gear are out in the stables. Do we at least have our knives on us?
Yeah, sure. You have dinner knives.
Well, by dinner knife, it's definitely sharp and pokey. So,
Wasn't our host a lord? Wouldn't he have weapons inside those?
Sir Wolf's
space?
Luck is the Lord. Yes. You know
Okay,
what?
they've all
Fine.
magically vanished.
The last scene before we go to break is all of you just handing out swords to each other. Now all of you are fully armed.
well, we have swords, if not armor and shield.
Well, you don't need armor. You're all just gonna die because you're gonna Caesar each other before we ever get to the first vote. We're going to break. We're going to break. Think about what you've done. Play the game correctly. Okay, so you spend all day gathering weapons, looking at each other, investigating crimes. Night falls, and I will need all of you to physically close your actual real eyes. Yes.
There's no vote today.
No, there's no vote on the first day. That's not how werewolf works. Close your eyes.
Oh.
All of you, close your eyes. Fucking cheaters. Jesus Christ. Werewolves, please open your eyes. Send to me on Discord who you would like to kill. Very well. Werewolves, close your eyes. Chirurgeon, open your eyes. Please select for me the player you would like to save on Discord. Glad nobody has a really loud keyboard today. You did give away. Very well. Chirurgeon, close your eyes. Green Seer, please open your eyes. Please select the character whose role you would like to investigate. Green Seer, please close your eyes. All players, open your eyes. When you come to in the morning, there is a scream of terror. And you find that Sir Kyned has been attacked and left in a coma with lycanthropism. As he's the target of the werewolf, but he's also a PC, so we're not actually going to kill him. We are going to make him do a quest to get rid of the lycanthropy later, and he's effectively out of the rest of the game.
Thought for sure I was gonna be the one going.
What a dick
I
move.
definitely had doubts myself.
You have 5 minutes to decide. If someone accuses someone else and there is a nominated second to that accusation, we will vote. Floor is yours.
There's not as much blood on this one.
Out of character, really quick. We are assuming it's one of us and not one of the serving staff. Is that correct?
We're
Yes.
playing werewolf.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have been told by someone that it is one of us 6.
Okay.
Or one of us 5 now.
You can play 30-player werewolf games. It could just be that there's a whole bunch of NPCs in this game. So
Yeah, that are all playing werewolf.
played by Arthur.
I nominate Arthur.
It's Arthur.
Perkins.
It's Arthur.
That's why I had
You
to say
may
close your
now vote
eyes.
for
so you-
me. Who would like to
Tell
vote
us
yes
that-
or no?
We'll turn around for the werewolf.
It's your 5 minutes. All right, you do whatever you want. You vote for me right now. Go
Oh
ahead.
shit. We're actually timed on this.
I said you'd have 5 minutes. This is
This
how
is-
werewolf works.
A member of your group.
Yes. I was thinking Sir Kendric, Sir Gwgan. I doubt
must-
it would be one of you, and it was certainly not me, though none of you will believe me saying that.
I mean, even if it were either myself or Sir Gwgan, we would not have targeted Sir Kyned first.
Yes, you probably would have murdered all of us. Yes.
No, that's not a fair statement. That I had suggested that Kyned use his green side ability to examine us. So if one of us, so everybody in this room knew he had, or
Yes.
he claimed to have that sight. So
Does seem like the most obvious first target.
but that's, as I said, it doesn't rule out myself or Sir Kendric, because I don't know what the witch's curse could do to the bonds of brotherhood.
Does anyone want to admit to leaving their room last night? Perhaps with an alternate explanation?
I barred my door,
Sword in hand. In my
as I
bed.
did the first night. Did any of you leave your rooms?
I don't think any of us are going to admit to it, even if we did leave our rooms.
My question is, as the disembodied voice that called to us in our dreams, there seems to be someone with another role. And I'm very curious as to why this person did not save the man who claimed to have the green sight.
That is so weird, Glimo.
Yeah, all of a sudden my light went out and then came back on.
That's not irony at all. What are you suggesting, Sir Kendric?
I'm
That
suggesting
one of us could have saved Sir Kyned?
that is what the disembodied voice has told us.
Perhaps.
I think they probably selfishly use the power on themselves.
That is certainly one possibility. Perhaps one could have saved somebody else without knowing.
They saved themselves, and that would explain why no one wants to say they left their room with an alternate explanation.
Perhaps Sir
'Cause they
Kyned.
didn't.
Perhaps Sir Kyned lays in state because somebody else was saved. Had you considered that, Sir Kendric?
Maybe.
We are all knights, are we not? Sacrifice and guarding our friends. Is that not part of our vows? If not in word, but in thought?
How much time we got left?
1
Not
minute,
enough to
10
continue.
seconds. Sabella comes in and says, about 1 minute, 10 seconds. Would anyone like some red herring?
Yes.
She serves up a river fish.
I do not believe it is Sir Kendric. He is making himself too noisy.
Sir Gwgan, you are awfully quiet, and some have said, despite your belief in your god, you have made moves against in the house of.
That is all true.
It sounds as
Kendrick?
though, yes.
I would suggest that you nominate and someone else second me as the target. And if the werewolf strikes again, that will leave you and 2 others. I trust you to find the right person for this and save Kyned.
You
I
want
don't
us
suppose-
to eliminate you.
I I'm saying that it sounds like at least one person will die tonight.
As you say that, the night comes and no one
Awfully
has been
quick.
nominated. Awfully quick! It took exactly 5 minutes!
I'm talking about,
held up a
night
timer.
usually takes like 12 hours to get here.
Oh, son of a gun!
We'll see if I die tonight.
Guys,
Everybody close your
I'm
damn
so
eyes.
I'm so sorry. I just realized we were trying to vote on someone to kill that we
No,
thought
it's
was the
okay.
werewolf.
It's okay.
Close your eyes. Close your damn eyes. You know, Glimo, you can leave your eyes open. Feel like you've heard this one. Werewolves, open those peepers up. Go ahead and send me who you want to take out. Okay. Werewolves go to sleep. Chirurgeon, wake up. Chirurgeon, select who you would like to save. Okay. Go to sleep. Everyone wake up.
Or at least you just confirmed that Glimo was the seer.
Yeah. When you awaken, it is to another scream. And you find not his character, but actually Lawson himself holding a sign that says, "I'm dead, aren't I?" He's dead.
He's dead, Jim.
Knew it was coming.
Okay. I'm putting 5 minutes on the clock.
Well, this is going to get onerous quickly. It must be one of the four of us. I have my suspicions, as do each of you. Who do we lose?
Glimo just restarted his camera.
Sorry,
Oh.
my camera restarted.
Nice.
Now we got side Glimo.
We got profile.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to get this camera. I just
Stop wasting our time.
Yes. Well, it was not who I expected. I expected it would have been me.
So, Stanislav, you seem to have known an awful lot about werewolves with your one statement.
My one statement.
Wow. What a tenuous thread.
Out of character. The one statement was out of
Very
character. Yeah. I don't know you so well, sir. The
I've only
reputation of
traveled
these men are well known across the Isles.
Mhm.
Or at least this big one.
Well, if we vote on 4 and we get it wrong, the werewolf wins.
Would not be the werewolf and one person left then? Is that
Well, if we get it wrong and we kill an innocent, then the werewolf kills again, and then it's the werewolf and one other person, and you can't win.
Oh,
So we have to get this vote right.
so that's how the maths.
Yes.
Or just as the moderator, I would point out that if you wait for one more kill, you can then vote tomorrow and
That's true.
have a reduced pool of candidates.
That's true. Yeah. So
just
basically-
pointing a flaw in your logic.
Basically, well, so what I'm saying is, if this were a game of Among Us, we don't vote on 4.
Yeah.
Ah, yes, of course.
You don't vote on 4, and then we wait and see who dies, and then the 2 remaining innocents have to trust each other.
Can the chirurgeon save them? Can the chirurgeon save themselves? By the way, or any other person?
The chirurgeon can save themselves. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's why, like, the first night, I was like, why did the chirurgeon not save Sir Gwgan? Sir Kyned? Because it goes werewolf, chirurgeon. So the werewolf is already picked. So if the chirurgeon saves that person, there's no death.
That is correct.
I mean, the voice is also saying werewolves, but I don't know whether that's
That's part of the
yeah.
like
The
Stop
off-putting.
paying attention to the boy.
Well,
So I think we go another night of not voting.
I
I think that
agree.
might be the wisest course of action.
Are you foregoing your remaining 1 minute and 50 seconds? All of you have to agree.
I'm
I
okay
agree.
with that.
Yeah.
Okay. Everybody that isn't dead, close your eyes. All right. Werewolves, open your eyes. Send to me who you would like to kill. Very well. Werewolves, close your eyes. Chirurgeons, open your eyes. Send to me who you would like to save. Very well, chirurgeons, close your eyes. Everyone, open your eyes. All of you find yourself shocked to find another person put into a magical coma and given the curse of lycanthropy. As not his character, but actually just James is found on the floor of his room. No, I just, but it is James, yeah.
Now I'm both melancholic and lycanthropic.
The lazy dog jumps over
It's awfully hard to play an investigation while also trying to play a melancholy character.
An incredible Shakira song, for sure.
The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog.
Okay. I'm putting 5 minutes on the clock. There are 3 living players.
Okay, Sir Stanislav, Sir Madel, make your cases. Why are you not the killer, or why are you not the werewolf?
I don't have fuzzy ears.
And neither do I.
I could. I don't want to be accusatory.
You are
Okay.
the young wolf, are you not, Sir
Let me
Kendric?
ask you that. I'm middle-aged now, but let me ask you this: which of you is the chirurgeon, and why did you not save Sir Kyned the first night?
Out of character, am I? Shit.
You are allowed to say whatever you want.
I am the chirurgeon. And I didn't save Sir Kyned because I had put my efforts in protecting you.
Interesting.
Because I also have a choice to make each night. Last night, I chose myself. The night before, I had chosen Sir Gwgan. My process of elimination, I am clearly not the werewolf.
That would leave it down
I'm not
to-
sure how that works, but Stanislav, you were about to say something?
I was going to say that by default leaves you as the deciding vote because
Yeah. How much time is left, AP?
I'm
3
I'm
minutes,
gonna
20
vote for,
seconds.
I'm going to vote for Sir Kendric, and Kendric is going to vote for me.
Remember, a vote can't begin
Right.
until a second person has seconded it. So
Yeah. So are you nominating me?
I mean,
Because if you nominate me, then I nominate you, and
yeah.
Madel
then-
votes for you.
And then, yeah.
were
I was gonna
those
say-
nominations that I just heard?
Or I nominate Sir Madel.
Is that a nomination?
Are you going to second Sir Stanislav?
That we,
That we vote out Sir Madel. And then if you are the werewolf, we fight in single combat to the death.
That's not how that's gonna work.
I don't know.
So I
From a
nominate
roleplay
him.
perspective, you
And I
nominate
will second Sir Stanislav being the werewolf.
who's nominating who?
I said I would nominate Sir Madel.
Okay. If you nominate
Oh.
Sir Madel, I'll second that.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
we now have a vote. Sir Madel,
Yeah.
you have 30 seconds to defend yourself.
I am simply not the werewolf. I'm the chirurgeon. I have spent this entire time attempting to keep others alive and failing. I have not outrightly made any moves to kill anyone.
Okay. Sounds like you ceded your time. Sir Madel?
I have nothing. I don't know what else I can say.
Would you like to vote for yourself, Sir Madel?
To preserve myself, yes.
Sir Stanislav, would you... Wait, you are voting for yourself?
No, I'm voting to keep myself alive.
So it's a binary vote of yes or
okay,
no.
in that case, I will be voting for Sir Stanislav.
It's also not you. It's a yes or no question. Are you
yes
voting
or no
for
to
yourself?
Your death is the
no
question.
is the answer.
Very well, Sir Stanislav. Yes or no? Would you like to put Sir Madel to death?
I'm going to vote however Sir Kendric votes.
That is not an answer. It's a yes or no question here.
Shit. Yes.
Okay, Sir Kendric.
I
Yes
also
or no?
vote yes.
Very well. Andrew, I assume you have a full character sheet?
Yes.
Okay. Sir Kendric and Sir Stanislav fight to the death, I guess. I wasn't going to do it this way, but
No.
after
I was just
hanging
kidding.
from the rope, Sir Madel, his neck snaps and dies. And at that moment, you try to open the door, Kendric, and it does not open. And you turn to see Sir Stanislav smiling like Neobuzzard is right now.
Yeah. Listen, when it comes down to that point, you got a 50-50 shot. Like,
You were so close, and you I think you assumed that Omar's got a better poker face than Omar actually has.
no, I
No.
basically, like, you know, it's literally a 50-50 shot. Like,
But no one counterclaimed Chirurgeon was the thing that was driving me
well,
nuts.
yeah, but you know, what is like, what is the werewolf more likely to do? Just sit there and be quiet, or be like, oh yeah, I'm the Chirurgeon. And I did this that had no effect at all whatsoever.
For me, it was like Omar's Hagrid. I shouldn't have said that. That really sold it when he was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I should have said I'm the Chirurgeon, right?" You know, it's like,
Yeah, because I was going to ask if I was allowed to reveal that, but I started before my brain was like, nope, you got to play neutral here.
Well, Andrew, congratulations. You won this game, and you've given all the players lycanthropy that they're going to need to solve before the end of the year.
My character's dead. I'm sad.
Yes, you and Lawson's character are both dead, and Andrew is a fully still alive werewolf running around in the English countryside.
Woo!
James, congratulations on your first game of werewolf. Glimo, I'm sorry you died on night one. Omar, I feel like you really have a lot to answer for. That's all I'm gonna say.
What did I do? What's wrong? I don't know. I was like,
Have you played werewolf before?
I have not.
Yes, I can tell.
There's a bunch of people that haven't played it before trying to play.
Somewhere out there is someone who is writing a scathing documentary on optimal doctor choices that is eviscerating you right now.
Yeah, because like the knowing who had green sight turn one, like that's that was a death sentence for Sir Kyned.
Yep.
Like,
I was counting on the doctor to save me, but
yeah,
I guess
I was
wrong.
not counting on the doctor having never played werewolf before.
yeah,
I think I spent a fair part of that wondering how many other roles there were, and not realizing, and obviously not knowing that, regardless, that outing the Green Seer is a death sentence.
yeah. Well, because the Green Seer gets to go, all right, who is this person? Are they a werewolf or not?
Right.
And so losing the Green Seer turn one is in such a small game of werewolf is huge.
So not only did Lawson predict his turn to death on his whiteboard, he also selected Neobuzzard on day one, but he didn't vote in the 5-minute time period.
I thought we were voting. I thought we were going through the 5 minutes, and
I
then
was
you were going to
so
have a vote
clear that you have
anonymously.
5 minutes, and
That's one of the other things is like we don't know how much time we have left, like because
That
there's
is
no
true,
timer, there's no
but-
clock.
Again, that is true, but
And there wasn't any like, oh, you have 1 minute. Like we were like, hey, how much time do we have left? And you're like 20 seconds. So I'm a big fan of the house rule of, if once the time's up, then you go, are there any nominations? And if no one speaks up, then you move on.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Not the time is out and you're fucked.
Next time I have a campaign of BattleTech and I do a werewolf surprise guest thing on there and you're present on it, I will show the timer. How about that?
That'll be the season finale of Solaris Nights.
There you go.
But which
That's how
one?
we
One with the
figure out
K
who
or the
the
one with the number?
Blakist is.
Yeah.
Who's the Blake agent?
Yeah, who's the who's the ROM agent?
Ooh.
All right, guests, thank you so much for joining us. Andrew, thank you so much for showing us how to play a game of werewolf. Everybody, all of our guests, we got to go now because we're going back to a regular section of Pendragon. A thing of Pendragon is what we're about to do.
Gotcha.
Leave. Go. Get out of here.
I'm moving
Go.
the mouse.
Bye,
Just leave and
guys.
stay.
Get out. Go. You can't stay. All right. I got to snap us into the right place. Let's see. Boom. Did that work? No, it didn't. I can't move people's cameras on Zoom anymore.
Need someone to turn the camera off and on again?
I think Spoon.
Like the old days?
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
If I turn off and on.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening, but yes. All right, we all snapped to the correct place. All of you awaken. Very keenly aware that you have lycanthropy now. And your green seer powers are gone. All of the servants are also dead. Their throats have been slashed by a werewolf.
Well, that sucked.
Yes, that was very unfortunate that the two of you died and got knocked unconscious almost immediately. Well, at least it's all three of us.
Do we go and slay the Witch of Salem? Is that the way we solve this?
To cure ourselves of lycanthropy? I'm not sure. But perhaps it would be advantageous to us to at least track her down and ask, maybe.
Can I roll fairy lore?
Absolutely. Why not? What a fairy lore specific day it's been.
I would also like to roll fairy lore.
Nope.
Also, no.
Both of you think that you need to consult religious leaders on the proper way to deal with lycanthropy.
How unfortunate that my religious leader just left the island. I suppose there are other druids, perhaps.
There are also fairies, of course. If you could find a way to contact one, you could ask them.
We don't have a way to, like we'd have to go back into the Forest Sauvage and find a way there. Yeah.
I think the only lead we've got is the witch.
How far is it to the hamlet of Salem?
You're in the hamlet of Salem.
Okay. That's
You're
where the
outside
Gluck
the front
Tower
doors.
is.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Outside
Okay.
of Gluck Tower.
Is everyone here dead?
Yes. The whole manor.
Lovely.
Only your
the whole village?
squires are alive.
Because they were out in the stable with the horses.
Yeah. And they've just been waiting for you the whole time.
Yeah. So let's go try and find this witch.
How would you like to do that? Knowing absolutely nothing about witchery.
Yeah.
You know who does know?
Who's that?
Went.
That would be wise, yes. He might know. He might also know how to cure us. Or he might try and kill us.
Either way.
Shall we ride for his castle?
How far of a ride is it from here?
About 2 days.
Yeah, back to
He's on the
Salisbury, and then-
southeast side of Salisbury.
Yeah, you can get to basically anywhere in Salisbury in a day. Sir Gwgan, what do you think?
I'm happy to follow.
Let's ride for Sir Gwyn's castle then.
You ride to the castle of Sir Gwent. You arrive there 2 days later, a hard ride. Each of you can feel a sort of burning itch on your neck as you know that soon the price will be paid. Your lycanthropy will come on the next full moon. James, I assume you're rolling to recover hit points after a week.
No, I was rolling to see how long I'm melancholy for.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so I've still got 5 more days.
You get back into Salisbury's borders and you immediately are like, I'm so wistful for these lands. All of you notice an immediate change come over Sir Gwgan.
No, this is like I've been playing melancholy the whole time.
Oh, yes, of course. Of course.
That's why I'm not speaking up and being led around and that sort of thing, you know. So
That's- of course, of course.
Was that also why you suggested that we nominate you?
yeah, exactly.
Okay. Yeah. We ride for Sir Gwent.
Okay. I didn't know if we wanted to do anything about that melancholy. You make it to Gwent. Gwent sees you approaching and says, "Ah, you're back a few days late. I thought you were simply escorting the wizard Merlin."
There were some complications on our return. Have you heard of the hamlet of Salem?
He frowns and gestures for someone to open his front gates and escort you all in, and says, "Indeed, I have heard of the witch-cursed hamlet of Salem."
Well, we hadn't. And so we stopped to stay the night there.
Deeply unfortunate. I noticed
Indeed.
that you have some sort of new neck tattoo, Sir Kendric. Anything you'd like to tell me?
Let's go inside.
He comes down off the wall and escorts you all inside, and he makes a secret magic roll. He has a 5, and he got a 6, so he goes, "I know very little about how to cure you, but I do know someone who does.
That's relief.
The wizard Merlin."
Well, that is unfortunate because he is on the boat bound for the continent.
That is unfortunate. Very well. There's another place that you could gain resolve from. If you could somehow hunt down the wolf that bit you,
Yes.
you could use its blood with some wolfsbane to fashion a cure. Do you know which werewolf slashed you all?
I do. His name is Sir Stanislav.
Sir Stanislav. I don't recognize that name. Do you know what lands he hails from?
Cornwall.
There's a terrible battle taking place there even now, if my recollection is correct. Many of
Indeed.
the other members of the Order of the Axe, and indeed many free knights, and even the Baron himself are there now. It would be a terrible fate to befall them if they were to win the battle and then fall to this witch-cursed lycanthrope.
Indeed.
I suppose we could have a second guest episode where we hunt down and kill this werewolf.
Yes, we could do that.
And what's wrong with Sir Gwgan? He hasn't said anything yet. I'm so used to him agreeing to play a game of cards with me, which we're establishing as canon right now, off camera.
What about the witch that originated this curse?
Oh, yeah, if we could find her and kill her, we could probably do something about that. Do any of you have experience killing witches?
No, that's why we came to you.
Yeah, that's fair. That was a pretty good call.
Yeah, I'm very surprised that you have a fairy lore of 6 when you are tasked with
No, five.
guarding.
Five.
No,
five.
that's
sorry,
not.
yes,
That's not
sorry.
his fairy lore. That's his
Oh, okay.
magic.
Oh, okay. So, was he trying to cure us of lycanthropy?
Yeah,
Oh,
he's just gonna cure you. He's just gonna luck shot that cure, but I failed.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, he would have lost a lot of honor in the process.
Yes, he would. He'd lose something like 13 honor, I believe, for using
It's
magic
like
in front of you.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Instead, it's like he was trying to form the runes, and then one of you looked over, and like the TV show Merlin, he was like, "Ooh, just doing cards. There's cards in my hands." He says, "Look, this is what it comes down to. We're going to have to defeat this Sir Stanislav. Forget about the witch. She's just a narrative device. Stanislav is real. He's real. He has a character sheet, and we can kill it."
Well, how long do we have until the full moon?
An appropriately narrative number of days that we should leave soon, but not immediately if you don't want to.
He's making the paper. Deal buzzard in the chat.
Very well. Let's hunt wolves.
All right, when you say that, it's very Lord of the Ring-ish, so Gwent immediately like nods and fist bumps you. Let's hunt some orc! Anything any of you want to do.
50-50 odds at their hunting skills.
Wow. All right. Is there anything you want to do or prepare before you continue to ride west towards Tintagel?
I think Kendric would stop back in at his manor.
Yeah. When you get there, the chef is like, "Oh, Sir Kendric, look at this wonderful thing. The wizard Merlin, what a great sage he is. He stopped in before he left for the trip and told me to prepare this for you." And he shows you like a wooden dish that's mostly flat, and then it has an indent for it for a cast iron skillet. And he says, "Taught me how to make these hot plates so that I can bring your food out while it's still bubbling and boiling. The lady of Lopez says that we can make something called fajitas on them. Apparently it's traditional in her homeland, but she's never seen skillets like this. These hot plates.
That's wonderful. It is a
truly, it is a reward without value."
Yeah, I think it's beyond
Beyond
measure.
value.
Yeah, beyond. Yeah. Well, I look forward to all of my hot meals then.
Fantastic. Can I prepare anything for you? You look like you're just getting ready to leave again.
Yes, I was just stopping in to visit with my lady wife and see my children.
Of course. I'll get out of your hair then.
And then I think like Sir Kendric goes and, visits his family and talks with them and has
a lot of people asking questions about that weird 3 throat scratch that you and all your friends have.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I do want to mention, by the way, that when I told Spoon that his character was a noble knight, he immediately linked a gif of the noble knight.
Yes.
From William Pappadin. He knows what's up.
And then like when he has a moment in private with Guiona, he will explain the situation and that we are going to hunt this Sir Stanislav down, and Gwent knows how to formulate a cure.
She takes your hands and she says, "Well, as someone cursed by the devil, I hope that you are made well soon. Try not to kill him as a man, kill him as a wolf. We've got some real League of Extraordinary Gentlemen problems here. If you kill him as a man, it would be very unchristian of you, and I know that's not your thing, but I mean, don't come back if you're infected, because I don't want you getting at the children. I'll do my best to cut your head off cleanly.
Yes. If we fail to cure ourselves of lycanthropy, I'm not sure what will happen. But
she puts a hand on your shoulder and she says, I've been defending you at court as best I can. 34 years old isn't middle-aged yet. You still got until next year to go.
Thank you.
She puts a hand on your cheek very lovingly and tilts her head sideways, looking extremely pale.
I will see you when I return.
Of course. I'd kiss you, but I don't want to get your werewolf germs on me.
Of course.
I don't know what germs are, but I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to kiss werewolves.
Not supposed to kiss werewolves. Yeah. Despite
I
what
rolled
all
a failed fairy lore, so I think that's a thing.
Despite what all the popular media would tell you.
Right. What a reference! The entirety of all werewolf media since the 90s is howling. Kyned, Gwgan, anything you want to do before traveling out to the west?
I think I just spend time half-heartedly playing cards with Gwent and losing a lot.
All right. Gwent goes, you seem to be losing a lot, Sir Gwgan. You're normally much better than this. Your intelligence score is a lot higher. What's going on with you?
What's an intelligence score?
Wish I knew. Really, I do.
Just the battle on the road for Merlin. It has weighed heavy on my mind.
Ah, yes. I know of this thing that happens tonight that we don't talk about. You've got that thing where deeply passionate about something and then you failed in the process and it broke something inside you and left you kind of wondering where you stand in the world and like what is true and what's false, and maybe you're checking your beard to see if there's any gray in it. Yeah, I know that feeling.
I didn't want to fight for Merlin in the first place, but I gave my word, and then maybe I just didn't give my all in the battle because I didn't want to be there.
Well, I know that the Order of the Axis had a troublesome association with Merlin, but I've always found him to be an excellent partner for a hand of whist, although he refuses to play the card games that I develop with me. But he plays a good hand of whist, which is a real card game.
Well, your argument is sound, but as you're not a woman, you can't snap me out of this melancholy.
He slaps you in the face.
All right, nice. So I think from memory, he has to test a virtue, a passion or a virtue.
I think it's a passion.
Yeah, I think he has to succeed. I have to fail, and then if okay. So what am I rolling? What passion am I rolling then?
I mean, he rolled loyalty.
The same one you failed is the one that you roll, I believe.
Okay, yeah. So
he did order the axe, though.
If I succeed, though, I attack him.
Sure.
So,
yeah, that is correct.
Yeah. All right. So
let me get to the chapter here.
Now I'm nervous that you're going to kill Gwent in his own castle.
Well, I mean, I'm not like wearing a sword or anything right now. You know, like we
have a table and a deck of cards.
Yeah. I think there's a certain number of rounds you have to fight for. No, I was in a game shop the other day, and they actually had the new Pendragon book there. So now the new book's out. Have we read it and assessed it was not what we wanted for this game? Is that right?
Sorry? Yeah, 6.0. Yeah, we've decided that we're not doing it, right? Because it made some major differences to skills. Like it compressed a bunch of skills together.
Okay.
And people were not liking how it looked. Right? Am I crazy?
And they don't have the updated GPC yet for 6.
Yes,
so we said we were going to wait.
That as well.
We were going to wait for GPC to come out, and then if enough of us die at the same time that we can redo everyone's character sheets,
I mean, we could just do Rocks Fall, like right before you meet Arthur, and then we get the next generation at the same age as Arthur.
I could go on a murder spree starting with Gwent.
Um,
I love
So, yeah.
Kendric back into a corner, like, Gwgan, what are you doing? We have to find Stanislav.
So if the healer wins, then the condition is ended and the victim snaps out of it. If the victim wins, he flies into a rage and attacks the healer. If it's a tie, then both characters fail, then nothing happens.
Okay, great. So because he won, no matter what happens, nothing will happen, or you'll break out of it, right?
No, it's only a tie if I roll 7 as well. If I succeed and roll higher than him, I've won. Yeah.
Sorry,
And then
yes,
he
you're
will
right,
fly
you're
into a
right.
rage.
Yes,
Yeah,
I forgot
okay.
how to play Pendragon because I've been playing Werewolf all night.
All right, you get in a
Flies
rage.
into a rage.
That's it. Yep, that's it. Poke the bull, you get the horns.
All right.
Does it say how long is it for again? Does it say number of rounds?
So let's see.
1d6 rounds.
One round. He's going to get lucky now.
He fights fully defensively, knowing exactly what he's doing by slapping you in the face.
Okay, which is funny because there's like no brawling skill in this
Yeah,
game system.
yeah. Well, like knights don't have it. It's not a knightly skill, so we don't start with it.
Yeah, so I think it's just a slap fight.
Okay, well,
So-
with plus 10 on defensive, seems pretty good for me. You know, you go after him, you launch yourself over the table passionately at him, screaming in your heart at Saxons, and he goes, "Brother!" And he pulls you in and he hugs you and he holds you there. You're like, "No, I have to kill this thing." He's like, "No, brother! Siblings ride together!"
Can I just say, as out of character, that I've not broken many bones, but one bone I have broken was I had a fracture in my skull under my eye socket.
Oh my god.
From getting punched in the face when someone leapt across the table at me after losing 5 games straight in Legend of the Five Rings.
Wow. Well, James, you're fucking brutal. You literally were in Discord yesterday and you were like, "So I calculated that during the next turn, my opponent couldn't possibly win under any circumstances." And I told him that, and I pointed out the math of it, and I was like, "Jesus Christ, I hope he never does that to me."
So just to be clear, this was Lord Hunger's brother, right? And we're playing Legend of the Five Rings, and I beat him in on a victory, and he's like, "Oh, on a victory, like, you know, that's a shit rule. I don't know why people use." Okay, no worries, we'll do it in one. Okay, then I beat him in like I beat him like each time. He's like, "That victory sucks." So
One
I
of
beat
the
him
5
like
rings.
all 5 victory types.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
And then
That's what
like,
they call
think
an
after-
Olympic. That's
Yeah,
what that
and
victory type's called.
after the last time, I'm like, "Look, if you're gonna win, I'm just gonna stop playing, right?" And that was what set him off. So.
Miyamoto Musashi shines down from heaven looking upon your 5-way victory. This is one who understands the void. Well, I think we get a touching moment where he's like clapping you on the back and just making sure you're okay, and he just keeps saying stuff about how you're his brother, because he impassioned via loyalty order the axe, which is definitely not his best passion by far.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Gwen. Thank you.
I knew what I was doing.
Yeah.
He gives you the Gwent nod.
All right. I owe you a new table.
No. We have plenty of trees nearby to chop down to make it into tables for our woodcrafters to practice. The apprentices are terrible.
Right. Well, we need to get on with this mission, but I need to settle that up before we leave.
Very well. I have paper and pen if you'd like it. Do you need me to ride with you?
To
kill Stanislav.
Yeah, no, I mean, I thought you were coming. Are you willing to come?
Oh, yeah, sure. I mean, I didn't know I was coming. I thought it was just going to be like the werewolf party, but yeah, I can totally come. I'm a Witcher man.
Yeah, I mean,
He goes and he gestures to his sword. He has 2 swords, but the second one isn't silver. It just has a wolf's head pommel.
Okay.
He goes, "I can't afford a silver sword. I am paying for all these whores." he gestures to his 5 kept women and the 10 children he has now. I'm in deep, but I need men on these front lines. We should establish some sort of watch of like bastard sons and dishonored noblemen and criminals who can be sent to help guard against the witches and the giants. Someone to help me watch in the night.
All right, so I'm just going to write a letter to the Countess saying that, like, what's happened to us.
Okay, he goes,
And
Countess letter. Ooh.
can I have some privacy? Push
He
out the
leaves,
door
but
of
the
your
whole
house.
time he's rolling his shoulders and going, ooh.
Saying what's happened, and that we can't return to court while we are infected, so we are going to go and solve this problem. We'll either return cured or not at all.
Okay. The Countess narrates a letter back. Ken Burns, American Civil War documentary style. You know, like, you're not going to receive this letter until you're on your way back, but it's like, my darling Gwgan, I understand that you've decided to enact quarantine procedures, and I find that to be a mighty fine decision.
Dracon's farewell plays.
That's it. That's all I'm going to do of it now. Spoon ruined everything by making it better. Kyned, what do we have going on with you? Before we kill Stanislav.
Yeah, I think Kyned is given his newfound Christianity is too afraid of going home and seeing his family like this, so he's just going to hang out at Gwen's castle until we set out.
Right. He's a Christian, so he decided to stay with the guy who fights witches and has a bunch of horrors. Amazing.
Yes.
What a choice.
Well, you know.
Who would like to lead the hunt for the werewolf Stanislav?
It's your boy.
Okay. You don't have local knowledge of the area, and you normally would have help from, I believe his name was Garp.
Yeah, but that was only for the Camelot
It
Forest.
is only for the Camelot Forest, so...
But I will bring my dogs and my hunting, like dogs and people with me.
Okay, then this is going to be a pretty large procession of people.
Yeah.
Okay. So rather than 3 people, the warriors 3
We're not
riding.
the 3 riders.
Yeah, it's not the 3 riders hunting orc. It's definitely like a circus train of like 40 guys with dogs.
I don't imagine it's that big, but yeah, it's more like 15 or so.
I have a hunting track around here somewhere.
Do I try it in passion? No, I think I'll just hit it without that. Okay, success.
Success on the first one. Moving you to the second mark of the hunting track. So you ride for days over the lands, making your way west into the lands of Tintagel into Wales.
Okay, yeah. I was about to make an argument, but if we're going beyond Tintagel, that's
that's what.
So I was gonna, like, if we were hunting around Tintagel, I was going to argue that I am actually familiar with these lands because I spent a year riding patrol here. But if we're going beyond Tintagel, I don't think I'm familiar with
you
Wales.
have a big area to cover
Sure.
to look for this guy.
Yeah.
As you are riding, you hear rumors that a series of skirmishes leading to the battle has already begun to the southeast. You also hear plenty of rumors from different serfs in the area that you pass saying, the tin mines aren't around here, but they say that it's a lot of money. I was hoping one day I could get my son working at one of them, I'm sure that mines pay very well. That's what I hear, at least. In the process, Kyned, while Kendric, Gwgan, and the hunters are distracted, you notice that a nobleman has ridden towards you. Not a knight, but someone of noble blood, like a second son or something. And he nudges you off to the side and says, you are the Kyned, are you not?
I am. And who is asking?
My name is not important, sir. My understanding is that you are the spy master of Salisbury. If you were to just delay your hunt for but a few minutes, we could talk further about things that I know.
Kyned will signal to Kendric to hold up for a moment, and we'll chat with this gentleman.
Okay. You delay your advance. The sun continues to move. This man tells you many things. Most of them are completely useless, but some of them are more useful than others. And you learn of the unusual preferences in both alcohol and women of a certain prince of Wessex that could be of use to you in the future if you needed to put pressure on it. Write that down somewhere because you can use it later. Or you can give that information to other people. And this gentleman goes, yes, he came riding through here on a goodwill tour some time ago. He fornicated with several of the women in the area, and they kept a very strict diary of everything that he asked for. Must say his appetites are enormous, and yet they seem not well known throughout the rest of the lands. I knew that if I held on to this information long enough, someone of value would be through here. And then he reaches out oddly and clutches to your arm and says, you'll remember my name, won't you?
You haven't given it to me, sir.
My name is Joseph of Orange.
Joseph of Orange.
Yes. If you ever need more information about small things happening in this local area of Wales-ish, Cornwall, Tintagel, you should know I gossip with everyone all the time. Hot goss.
Well, thank you, Joseph of Orange. And I'll give him a Libra.
Good day to you, sir. Yeah, James. Tinted jelly, my favorite thing to put on bread. It tastes like dark magic.
Jelly is what Brits and Australians call Jello. So,
wow, so much worse. All right, Kendric, you lost a portion of the daylight here in the late summer, but still plenty of time to lock in a successful hunting roll.
Let's do it. That is another success.
Sun moves forward. Time continues to pass. As you are riding, Kendric, you come across a battlefield where it is clear that some knights have died and also some men at arms. And the hunters who are with you are shifting about oddly. No one has picked these bodies clean of their arms and armor and perhaps even their effects and money. They look like they are trying to push for you to stop and take a rest here, but it's clear that what they really wish to do is descend upon the bodies and begin looting them. Thanks, Crusader Kings 3.
How many, roughly how many?
How many what? How many people?
How many?
A small skirmish of 10 people on each side.
Okay, so there's a handful of dead, 5 or more.
Yeah.
I think Kendric will have order a halt and have the houndsmen basically strip and not necessarily loot, but gather up all the effects and the swords and the armor and any personal effects gathered and put on a pack horse.
Okay. So write down that you have 2 damaged suits of armor, 2 swords, and then I would like James and Glimo to each roll 3d4 to see how many libras of good loots you all pick out of the pockets. Those are good rolls. 17 libras. The men fighting on both sides of this battle were well-to-do, and the scouting forces on each side died in the skirmish, eliminating each other completely. The hunters are like, oh, we get a portion of that, right, my lord?
Of course.
I don't like how Spoon is smirking right now. It makes me feel worried.
I give them a single libra to divide amongst themselves, like a single libra worth of goods. And then the 4 hunters get 4 each.
Okay.
I mean, you can make it feel like more by giving them like 120 denarii.
Yeah, exactly. Like he's not just like flipping them one coin. It's like here's your portion of stuff. Here's our portion of stuff.
It does feel more rewarding when you have a lot of stuff, even if it. I mean, they don't work with coin normally, so this is a lot for them.
It's actually a bag of bottle caps rather than
and like to be clear, like 1 libra for these guys is like this is like 6 months pay.
Yeah. All right. The hunting track moves forward again, getting more than halfway there with the sun.
Yep. All right. And then
you know what they say, carry on, my wayward son. That's
that
was critical.
Double move.
Can we get Andrew back in here immediately? Let me go check with him real quick.
He did say he was just sitting there eating soup.
I'm contacting him real quick. Got time to die? ? He got a critical hunting roll to find you. Go find that Zoom link in case we need it. Audience at home, thanks so much for putting up with my shenanigans, but also I feel like I need to apologize that my cast had such a hard problem getting the werewolf started.
Might I recommend maybe we take a break here?
We should take a break here. Thank you so much for your recommendation. When we return, if we can't get Andrew, we're gonna not return, and if we can get Andrew, we're gonna kill him. So yeah, that's basically how it's gonna go down. We may or may not see you again tonight.
I mean, you guys have put me in a trap.
No, you're not in a trap. Hold on. Let me describe the situation for you. Just hold on a second. I gotta get a thing. For you, it's been a whirlwind, Sir Stanislav. You have no memory at the time of the attacks happening. And then after you fled in madness from a manor house where all you found were dead bodies everywhere and unconscious knights outside, you ran screaming away, riding on your horse as far as you could get, tormented by dreams of being made to make a decision every night, your life or someone else's, pushed to the edge of these murders, and at the very last, in the deepest suspicion that someone made live was a werewolf, you killed someone with your votes when you indeed were the very perpetrator of all of these crimes. Now, hunted like a dog for days, you've finally been backed into a corner along the coastlines of Tintagel. Every night, the same disembodied voice. Point at who you want to kill, but it sounded really witchy, you know, like point at who you want to kill. The three of you are approaching a Sir Stanislav who is covered in blood on his armor and on his weapon, backing towards the edge of a cliff, looking like a wounded animal. But perhaps the biggest difference between how you remember him is there's a little bit of fuzz coming out of his ears. His eyes wild, looking like an animal caught in a trap, as he continues to back closer towards the cliffs of Tintagel. Also, let's say it's raining, because that would be super sick to have like a dark storm behind you and then like thunder clouds and.
You were my brother. I loved you.
Gonna say, like, I point my spear at them and say, so you've come to die.
No, you have come to die. And
I was already here. You came to me.
All right, we went Disney because now we're just doing quips.
Kendrick, is Sir Stanislav mounted? Are we mounted?
Let's say yes.
Okay. Kendrick's going to draw his sword. Say there's only one way out of this for you, Stanislav.
Stanislav, you know that you've done nothing wrong. You were cursed by a witch.
Right?
We're here to grant you God's mercy.
Which gods?
God's apostrophe.
All
S.
of them
The right ones.
between us collectively.
Okay. Do you guys want to go at them one at a time in like dueling fashion, or is this like a full-on triple charge?
I mean,
Okay.
Kendrick is charging. I'll let
Okay.
my compatriots make their own decisions.
Yeah, it's charge.
All right, Andrew, this is probably going to be really short then.
Yeah.
Glimo, you
Make this
literally
quick.
died first. What would you like to do? Your companions immediately dart past you as they begin charging.
Yeah, I'm
I thought,
charging.
I thought this was Mass Effect music you're playing. It's like it's that same C major key with the same chords.
It's
like,
Before the Storm from Tabletop Audio.
Mechanically, remind me, can you charge with sword or can you only charge with lance?
You can charge with sword, but you don't get the additional horse damage from the charge.
Okay.
You just do your damage, right?
Okay.
I'm not talking crazy about this, right?
Yeah, I think
You don't get
horse
horse's
damage has to be lance.
charger damage. You just get your
Right.
sword damage. Yes.
But you get the benefit for the charge.
If you use a lance in the charge, you do horse damage.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you had like a 76 Courser or something, you could absolutely smash into it. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay,
I'm
so
gonna-
Andrew, I don't know that we've talked that much about how you play Pendragon, but you know,
Absolutely not.
you have a certain amount of sword skill, and you can devote that sword skill either to fully attempt to block one person and counterattack them, or you can divide that up. So let's say you have a 17, you can do 7 on one and 5 on 2 others. You know, sort of deal.
So I want to ask, because I already said something about pointing a spear at somebody. Can I use my spear skill?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not going to say
Okay.
something.
Spear well, so spear would be lance since you're mounted.
Okay.
It's the same weapon, but lance is the mounted version of it.
Yeah.
Do you
Okay.
have the lance skill?
Yes.
Then you can use that
I
instead.
was gonna say
I
the
mean, you
character
have
sheet.
to use that instead.
Yeah. I used somebody else's character sheet, so it had lance and spear as 2 separate things.
Yes.
So because I'm
Yeah.
mounted, I have to use
Spear,
lance.
spear is if you're on. It's the same weapon, but spear is if you're on the ground, and lance is if you're mounted on horse.
Gotcha. Okay.
It would not be wise to get off your horse.
Yeah.
And there's no, since we're both mounted, there's no +5.
There's
is
no,
that
yeah,
correct?
there's no
But
plus
you
5
do
from
get the
being mounted.
charge bonus.
Oh,
I
yeah,
get the
well, you
charge.
do get the +5 from charging, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So.
That's unfortunate for me then.
Yeah.
So I will attack with lance.
So
Then-
before you do that, he has to make a decision as to how he wants to divide his attacks up, if he does at all. And
No, I mean I'm obviously gonna die here, so I'm just gonna put all of it onto one person.
yes, and who is that? Tell us who.
Hold on, I'm gonna roll a d3 and let the dice decide.
Oh, Rand, what are you, Ponder the fucking mad? Make a decision.
I don't wanna.
All I'm saying is you started with
Target
Glimo. It was real brutal.
You mean he outed himself as the?
That is
Okay,
true.
so going by my screen and separating you guys out, it's gonna be Sir Kendric. So I'm gonna put everything I have into trying to drop Sir Kendric.
Kendrick, you charge first, your horse surging in front of your companions, and you hear the 2 of them start one after the other behind you. But he doesn't ride out to meet you, but he sets himself, his horse looking at your horse, a little bit of mist coming from its warm breath. He takes what might be his own last breaths as Sir Stanislav prepares to strike with his lance. And let's have the two of you roll off against each other.
I critical.
Wow, that's super bad for you. You absolutely have to critical.
Do I just roll a d20?
Yeah, just roll a d20,
Yeah.
and we'll compare it. What's your lance score?
My lance score is a 10.
Okay, you're absolutely brutalized.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's. So is that double damage for me?
It is.
Yeah.
Double horse damage if it's charging with a lance.
No,
No, I was
no,
charging with the
sword.
sword. But here's my secret, James. I do horse damage anyway.
They say he's got the strength of a horse.
Yeah, I'm always a horse.
40.
Yeah.
Okay.
40 points of damage.
So you will take 30 points of damage as a result, but you still have your 10 armor.
Okay.
What is your hit points after minusing 30 from that?
I don't know if I actually put hit points on here. Oh, no, there we are. Total hit points was 33.
Okay, so you have 3 left. You're almost certainly mortally wounded and unconscious.
Be below the unconsciousness threshold as well. Yeah.
And I'm just gonna say you need to make a horsemanship here to not just be flung from your horse.
Okay. So that's just another d20 roll?
Yes.
I think you make it.
You'd be fine. Yeah, I think knights start with a 10 automatically.
Yeah. So I think a six definitely makes it.
Yeah.
Horsemanship,
two-
15. Yes.
Two of you collide, and an unconscious Sir Stanislav manages to stay mounted after a brutal showing of not just one, but like 3 strikes. It's like as you ride past, you like fully pull through it and take him almost out of the saddle, and then you wheel around and strike him a few more times as Stanislav is just getting brutalized. Glimo, we're going to honor that 18 out of 20 here if you want to go ahead and roll your charge lance damage. And because you are charging with your horse, you get full horsiness. Yep, okay. You just execute him. Full on execute. This man killed you, and he killed you first. And then you ride, and you see him like wheel around to follow as Kyned like brutalizes him. He like blocks and tries to follow through with blocking Kyned, and his back is to you. The horse is like walking in circles, and you collide with him, and just a hole goes through him as your lance is coming out the other side, and you could see that precious werewolf blood you need in order to free yourself is leaking down your lance, being carried away by the rain as you murder another knight in, well, you know, he was self-defensing. And then James, you also hit him as well if you want to. Just, you know.
And Gwent gets a chance too.
I didn't really describe Gwent being here, but yeah, sure. Let's have Gwent go at it.
I mean, Gwen
You
is
know what?
definitely here.
Gwent didn't charge. Gwent is back saying prayers for. He knows that this werewolf guy is gonna die, and he's just like, someone should say a prayer for him, because these guys aren't. And then as you're charging, he gets down off his horse, and we just get him from behind, and we see his 2 sword hilts as he walks through with his leather armor, just moving like this the whole time, doing buff macho man. Just, that's right, I'm played by Henry Cavill now.
Well, Liam Hemsworth, sorry, mate.
Okay.
Once we've got the bloodwind as well, I was gonna check to see if he had any like Christian iconography, and if he did, I was gonna make sure he had a Christian burial.
Stanislav?
Absolutely not. He's pagan.
Pagan, okay, all right, so I'll just roll him off the cliff then.
Wow. Hey, Andrew. Thanks for coming back tonight. We rolled you off a cliff real quick. Thanks for your 5 minutes.
It's all right.
You were a great villain. What a full arc.
Like we need that blood.
You know, okay, so I should look at the blood
He said
first.
he got the blood first.
Okay.
Get out of here, Andrew. Get out of here.
All right.
You
Goodbye,
go
guys.
play Guild Wars.
Thanks for coming back.
No problem.
Yeah, thanks for being the bad guy. We really appreciate it. Gwent has brought some wolfsbane with him and begins working on alchemy, which is kind of a gray area whether knights are allowed to do alchemy or not.
We'll just admire the beautiful sea view while he's doing something behind us.
So he's like kneeling down over a sputtering fire while the Cornish rain comes down on him, and he's just sitting there and just trying to get something to boil. And you can just see him kneeling there going, arrowroot, it won't help the efficacy, but maybe as a binder. Let me consult the tomes. And then he's like stirring this thick gray paste, and he's like, all right, open your mouths. I'm going to need to feed it to each of you. And then he gives you a spoonful of some horribly bitter stuff mixed with, you're like, oh, I can definitely taste the blood in there for sure.
Very coppery.
All right. That should break the werewolf's curse.
Thank you, Brother Grunt.
Don't tell anybody about it, seriously. Tell no one.
Should we camp out for the first full moon to ensure, just in case?
Sure, we should just stay here in Cornish lands. I mean, I assume that our army is going to easily defeat the Earl of Devon, so should be perfectly safe.
Who did? No, did we? I thought we.
You supported King the invaders.
Yeah,
you supported the king that was invading. Yeah,
because he was paying more, and we went. We don't care about the 10.
Yeah.
All right.
I feel like that's a good place to round out the episode. Is the three of you and Gwent around like a sputtering campfire. Your squires helping you set up tents. Your hunting men all like, yeah, we went into town and got a bunch of alcohol because we got paid huge bucks. Kyned with some pretty sick gossip in his pocket. It was a daring trip. It was a rough week. Melancholy, murder, werewolves, witches, curses. But in the end, you learned a lot. Maybe we grew as people. And you can all take a check mark in fairy lore from all of this. Because God knows you need it.
Also got to check on hunting for that critical.
The next time I go to a convention, I'm going to run a game of werewolf, and when the game is over, if the werewolf won, I'm going to encourage all the other players that lost to chase the werewolf around the con, beat him up to a pulp.
I'm APGamingREAL. I don't associate myself with anything this man just said. I do not want to be responsible for his actions. Hey, future police. Yeah, wow. What an episode. I don't even know how to dissect it. I truly felt like the cast was rebelling against me for about 50% of it. Glimo, you got any outro stuff to do? I saw you. I felt so bad you got eliminated first, but then I saw you were basically just streaming, doing your arts and crafts, and I was like, thank God. Thank God.
Hey, I'm Glimo. You can find me in Arthur's Discord. I also occasionally stream maker stuff on twitch.tv/Glimo. Yeah, that's what I do.
Anyone else got any outros they want to do or any crazy shit they'd like to do?
I'm curious.
Go ahead.
Were the roles randomly assigned?
What?
Like, did you random?
Of course not.
Gotcha.
I chose who the werewolf was.
Yeah.
And I chose all the other rules as well. Yeah.
Classic first game of werewolf curse then.
It's certainly fun playing what is effectively a social game while also playing as a character. And then I think it's like it's not how would I play the social game, it's how would my character play the social game, and then on top of that, for me, also playing like, but how my character who's melancholy play the social game.
Yeah, because I was like, why is James saying this? Like, this is definitely
you should
not how
vote
we're
me
gonna
out.
win.
It should be me. Kill me.
I was like, this is definitely not how we're going to win this game of werewolf.
What a game. What a game.
It was not the not what I was expecting was going to happen when you said we were going to have 3 guests.
Yeah.
For sure.
It was a fun surprise.
At least we've established that Neo Buzzard does not support the sanctity of the dad huddle.
Wow. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
He used knowledge he acquired by listening to us there. So just
So I do want to say this. He had a list of all the people he wanted to kill in order, and then pretty much within a second of Glimo saying he was the Green Seer, he sent me a ping on Discord that said Glimo. He heard that and he activated.
Mm-hmm.
Who
It was a lot of fun,
was
though.
his first kill? Hold on. Let me go check and see who his first kill was, because he had a full list of people. His order of operations was James, Lawson, Jacob, Omar, Glimo. So you were actually going to be last, Glimo.
Wow.
Right up until you added yourself.
yeah, I suppose as the Green Sea, you'd want to be trying to spot somebody first
Before
then
telling
eventually say-
anybody. Yes.
Yeah, and say, okay, I found it at Stanmore, you know.
But the other thing is that if the Green Seer outs themselves on night 1, they basically assume that the Doctor
It's protecting
will
them.
protect them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And instead, he protected Kendric.
Mhm.
It's wild.
Which I appreciate.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. But it's not the right move.
Well, it was a move. The
Yeah.
game was played. The dice were cast.
And it was fun.
How different is Blood on the Clock Tower? Because I know that Blood on the
Blood on the
Clock
Clock Tower, everyone gets a roll, rather than
Okay.
there just being like generic villagers. And it's also a little bit more narrative. Like the person running the game has some tools to apply pressure. So if one side begins winning, the game master or the narrator has a little bit of tools. There's an element of randomness where it'll be like, if you're drunk, either the thing you wanted to happen happens or it doesn't happen at the game master discretion. So if you're on the winning team, they could be like, okay, well, you're drunk and the thing you want to have happen doesn't happen. But if you're on the losing team, they go, okay, we'll let that go through because you're drunk and you're losing. Like, we're not going to punish you. We're going to try to even it up.
I went to a 40th birthday recently, and there was a game of Blood on the Clock Tower played, but I couldn't stay for the full party, so I didn't join the game.
I tried to get Blood on the Clock Tower game going for, I want to say, the Blood Bowl, but it didn't seem like people were interested. I really want to play Blood on the Clock Tower. Can you tell? We can even do a variation called Blood on the Gluck Tower. Don't laugh, guys. It's okay. That was really bad.
Maybe in 20 in-game years, our descendants will come back here and we can play it again.
We
I don't
do.
know, my son's turning into the sort of role player I don't like playing with, I gotta say. So
Oh my God. What a thing to say recorded on the internet. Okay. That's all right. In the last 90 days, I've had 0 viewers from the ages of whatever YouTube's lowest is to 17. So I'm sure he doesn't watch this show. I'm absolutely certain. I'm going to have to stop doing Gen Z jokes because they clearly don't watch the show. Or any of my shows.
yeah. Hey, he asked if he could be on a show with me, and I was like, no.
I mean, if there was a show, it would be this one, though, right? Like, you know what I mean? He could literally play your heir.
One has to survive first.
Wait, is this the one that insulted me about Minecraft?
Yes.
I have complicated feelings about this.
Like 5 years ago when he was 7.
For him, it may have been 5 years ago, but for me, it was Tuesday. No, wait.
So,
No, other way around.
I've had to set a rule with him because he's playing Baldur's Gate 3 and he wants me to play with him, so we do.
Yikes.
And I said to him, I don't mind doing stuff in the game which is like little. So most people know at the start of Baldur's Gate 3, there's a chance to make somebody drop their flaming sword using the command spell and steal it, or kill them and take it. it's a hard thing to kill, but you can get this flaming sword, and it's quite powerful at the start of the game. So
I don't know what he's talking about. So
yeah,
you keep going.
I said I don't know if you do that. He's also discovered from the internet there's a part where you can cause a bug in a cutscene, which means a certain NPC doesn't leave. They don't despawn when they should, and you can kill them and get stupid amounts of XP at low level and get their stuff, but they don't fight back, and they still appear later in the game as though they're alive. Like I said, that's obviously an exploit. So I'm not willing to I'm saying you can't do. You want to play the game? We can do stuff which is Easter eggs. We can't do exploits because obviously that's not how the game is intended to function.
Yeah, but when you're young, you got to do that kind of rebellious, memey stuff, Final Fantasy VII stuff.
But his whole approach to D&D 5e is how can I make the most broke-tastic character possible to do the most and
Tell him
he
to play
gets upset.
Pathfinders and Archer, and then you just walk away.
He gets upset when someone else does more damage than he did in combat in a round.
I've walked this path before. Yeah, this is sounding familiar.
No, but the flaming sword is the demon commander at the beginning of the game.
Oh, interesting. Never even thought of that.
You can cast command and have him drop his weapon, or
I don't think paladins get command at level 1, so
Shadowheart has it, and Shadowheart.
So you have to
yeah.
As if I wouldn't free Shadow.
Or
come on,
you can just
son.
straight up kill him.
My beautiful wife.
It takes a lot of saves coming though to just straight up kill him because he's very difficult.
Yeah, and when he dies, the mind flayer turns hostile. So,
wow, everything you're saying sounds terrible. Oh, Baldur's Gate 3. I got to get back into it at some point. Maybe I'll just wait for the next big patch to drop. Hopefully, when
it's coming. It's like I think early September it will be patch 7, and that's the one that has crossplay, and also has the new split screen function, which I'm looking forward to having to play with my son as well.
Spoon, will you enter into a suicide pact with me to play Star Citizen in November? It's time for both of us to just walk off a cliff. The new Empyrean, the new Eco.
Like I bought Star Citizen. Which one now? What are the two compete ones? Star Citizen and Elite Dangerous.
Yeah, Elite Dangerous. Yeah.
I think I bought Star Citizen. That's the one where you have all the ship NFTs, right? Pretty much.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Basically, yes. Ship NFTs. Yeah. I mean, basically.
I think I spent about $70 to get some package for it. And I think you wake up, you start waking up in bed. It's like the opening bit of the game. Mm-hmm. And I didn't even get to my ship before I gave up on the game.
Wow.
Hey,
that's brutal, James. That really hurts me.
In those early builds, that's valid.
Yeah.
I hear it's pretty good, and that 4.0 is coming out soon. So
yeah, I will say there are a lot of Star Citizen haters out there.
Yeah, I'm one of them.
Matt Koval played a lot of Star Citizen, so I've seen a lot of Star Citizen played. It's actually pretty good now.
Yeah.
I want to give it a shot. I wanted to give it a shot last year, but then I was like, yeah, but I don't have a joystick.
I just want to play Wing Commander Privateer in space, once again, or I want to play Eve in 1.0 space constantly.
Please, no, not Eve. No, the memories. I don't want to play Eve.
Yeah, Eve is our kryptonite.
I want an economic simulator, not a space battle game, basically.
Why aren't you playing X4 Foundations?
I don't know what it is.
James, we got to get you playing X4 Foundations.
Listen, AP, I will think about it.
Maybe we can get James in on the Suicide Pact to also join us in November for Star Citizen. Yeah.
And he's got, it sounds like he's got some ships for it. So
look, my understanding is that sometime in October or November, the starter packs will probably go on sale. I think I'm going to pick up the Avenger Titan, which seems to be an all-purpose ship that can do a little bit of everything. Get into the game, try it out. If they do free fly, you can get basically any ship in the game for free for a little while. Try out some cool stuff, maybe do some crude things, see if it's worth it, and then maybe get my Xbox or PlayStation controller and do a little bit of that flying along a planet at incredibly high speed, just for like 10 seconds, right up until I slam into the ground and be like, I was so cool for like 5 seconds.
Let me see if I can find his Twitch channel. Because there's like when I was an active Twitch mod for Matt Colville, like he did a lot of Twitch streaming of Star Citizen. He had like a small crew of people that he did, like streamed with, and one of them does that like low ceiling flying.
Yeah. Now, I want to say, I've seen Kane DeMail play this game, and what happened was that he was in a cruise ship, and he was flying to go do something, and the guy he was with was looking for the bathroom, and he opened the wrong door and ejected himself into space while Kane was flying at high speed. And so that guy continued to travel in the direction and speed that he was going at when he was ejected, and Kane had to find him in space and match his velocity vector and then get him back inside. It took him like 20 minutes, and he still had to go to the bathroom in game the whole time.
Yeah, so there was a glitch in a lot of ships where the bathroom was just a black box, and if you went to use the restroom, you would step into this black box and fall out of the ship. And if the ship was at warp, they had to stop, turn around, and you had to like put a beacon up, and they would warp back to you, and then you could get back in the ship. It
was incredible. It was such a moment that convinced me Star Citizen was not the game for me that year. The physics are incredible. It looks great. I watched a documentary called The War for Jumptown that looks amazing. These guys are like using ships that are going to lose in a fight and then faking their own deaths and jumping out of their ships, flying over to the enemy ship, killing everybody from the airlock, and then taking over the ship and stealing it. And I was like, this is so sick. This is literally some shit we did from Empyrean, where you break into the enemy ship and grab the course.
Yeah, there is a very there's a community of people out there who will do like narrative style events like that just with players, nobody but players.
So sick.
Yeah, and like having a fully crewed like hammerhead is very cool. It's very cool.
Currently, I have something called an Aurora MR. It's my ship.
I heard Aurora was a good name.
Last played in 2021.
Ooh, wow. What a year. What a fine vintage 2021 was. The year that keeps on giving, really.
Yeah.
Any closing thoughts to this stream? Because I forgot we're still recording.
Yeah.
I asked Spoon to join me for the Suicide Pact, and we got really sidetracked.
We got way into the weeds. No, this was a fun episode. I was very surprised that they were the guests. I thought I was way off the mark with.
You were going to get the other Pendrigan group or Eric Bulgaris. I'm sorry I couldn't bring you the ones you wanted.
I know it's these ones were pretty good.
I came up with the.
He was gaming combat against their characters from those shows, Like.
Yeah, I was like, oh my god, we're gonna get slaughtered by the Sword of Victory because they're all ridiculously.
I would love to have the Sword of Victory on the show, but I don't think our schedules match up.
Yeah,
I mean, I'll ask them next time we do a gentleman, but I don't think our schedules match up. With that said, I came up with this show episode idea immediately after the fairy castle puzzle battle. Essentially, I was like, let's do another one in the future where I just totally shit all over the Pendragon rules. People seem to like that, I guess. So let me know. Get in the comments. Let me know whether you liked Werewolf or not. Are we back next week for my schedule's purposes?
No, I am not, because it's Father's Day here.
Yeah.
Father's Day. What a great day. All right. Which one of the 7 tabs I have open is the one that has my calendar?
All right.
No luck shot it. I was wrong.
Next time on Pendragon, Secret Hitler.
Oh, what?
Do you not know? It's
I know what it is, but What is the Hitler in this this context? Is it just the secret son of Vortigern?
That's for you to work out. You're the GM.
I don't want to. I refuse.
Next time on Pendragon, we play Coup.
You're just all the Baron. That's all on your card.
I'll take my Duke Dex. I'll take 3 coins, please.
Oh, it's the Duke. You're just like, both of my cards are Dukes, obviously, because we're all our Pendragon characters.
The moment an NPC asks to swap 3 sheep for my 4 wood, I'm out.
We're Catan now? Unbelievable. We're really rolling through the board games here. All right. No Pendragon. I spelled it wrong, so there it is. All right, audience at home, I'm going to end the torture here. Have a good night.